Alright, so welcome everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about the recent reviews that just dropped for 5090 and 5080, and surprise surprise, they're not great. Alright, so for our first one, we're going to look at the stats from Optimum Tech. He's a fellow YouTuber, loved his work, love his visuals, it's always done in a high detail, hence we are referencing it here. So as you can see, according to him, it's only a 14% generation leap from 4080, which honestly isn't a lot because this card is coming after 2 years and has a lot of CUDA cores compared to the last one. While the VRM is another topic to be discussed, but yeah, that's not a lot of difference. Cyberpunk, stuff to keep bragging about, has gone from 67 to 70. That's really not a lot, and that's with RT plus DLSS. Native rendering, yes, there is a bit of jump, but that's all for the old titles. Any of the newer ones, for example Call of Duty, that's pretty much the same. Same story for Stalker and the same for Hellblade. So yeah, not looking too great. And yeah, you're right buddy, it is a joke. So in short, what he wanted to say was that we'll be better off going for a 4090 used or a 4080 Super if you can find that for a decent price, because the uplift isn't much. And I totally agree with his finding. Next up, let's check out what LTT has to say. It seems like I've seen the whole video. It seems like they can only see the positives are the size, the power draw, and yeah, only a few other things, but the stuff you're looking for, the real performance, isn't one of those. Sorry to be breaking this to you, but yeah, it is what it is. So let's have a look.
Then in Alan Wake, the 5080 brings a decent generational uplift that brings 1% low FPS into the triple digits. But also it only barely outpaces the 7900 XTX here.
See, that's what I want to point out. The last gen XTX practically has 8 gigs of more VRAM, which means it's gonna outlast these cards, by a long mile. 24 gigs is a lot of memory, and the way the games are going, the resolutions are going up, you do need the more VRAM. So yeah, I mean, that's only a couple of frames, 1% lows are nearly there. So I don't see what's the big appeal for the 4080 is, because now right now 1440p is the main gaming resolution that I've been seeing. I know 1080 is there, but 1440 is quickly taking over. Let's see what they have next.
X here. In F124, things look even less exciting, with the 5080 failing to overtake AMD's now 2-year-old flagship and only offering a measly 7-ish% uplift over the 4080 Super. Does it get any better? No. No again, and triple no. Why does the last gen 4070 Ti Super make everything else here look like an overpriced joke? At least Black Myth Wukong provides a reason for the 5080.
But that'd be an exception, so yeah, I think we got the answers where we need. Okay, so XTX was practically on par with 4080 Super.
At 1440p, while AMD can survive lightly ray-traced games, the path tracing found in Alan Wake and Black Myth Wukong make AMD look like an 8-year-old kid made it onto the field at
But I'm paying top dollar for this card and it's not even hitting 60. See, that's the problem. If I'm paying $2,000, let's say for a 4090, I'm barely getting 60. You're saying you're the market leader. I don't believe that. I think that there is a story that's hiding here. A price doesn't justify the performance that we're getting here.
An NFL game. Hopefully, 4090 does into 4K. Maybe the 4090's extra RT cores give it the edge, or maybe it's the VRAM. Check out this result in Alan Wake 2. Why did so many cards fail miserably? Guess now. Did you say lack of VRAM? Well, you're right. And if you didn't say lack of VRAM, pretend that you did. 4K path-traced Alan Wake asks for over 15 gigabytes of VRAM on 50 series cards and over 16 on AMD cards. Anything less and it's wholly unplayable.
Yeah, and it still can't do the damn thing that we wanted to do. That sucks.
don't. They care about AI. That's what made them one of the most valuable companies in the world.
And if the 5090 is anything to go by, this generation will be the same or even worse.
It feels like Nvidia just doesn't care much about gamers, and that's because they don't. They care about AI. That's what made them one of the most valuable companies in the world, and they're trying to use their large market share to move the market in their direction.
Next up is our guys from Moore's Law is Dead. I love this channel, absolutely brilliant. Everyone should go like and subscribe to these guys. He spits some real facts, real knowledge, real insiders, so that you won't see anywhere else on YouTube. Let's see what he has to say.
Temper their expectations for the RTX 5080 and especially the RTX 5070 series. In fact, I thought this point was so important that I had our team put out a short that was part of this conversation to the general public. And today we saw those predictions unfortunately come true. But man, I have to admit that I wasn't expecting stuff like this. The RTX 5080 somehow losing to the 4080 Super and 4080 non-super.
See, that's the stuff that Nvidia doesn't want you to see. See the reviews right as they announce the cards, because all the hype just dies instantly.
In some games, or this, a ray tracing uplift that is somehow lower than the raster uplift, completely in the face of this idea.
Yeah, that's most of the gamers, because no one can afford the prices that they're going to ask for. It's going to release tomorrow. There is a price that they're told that it should be the MSRP, but I doubt anyone will be able to find a card for that price. Maybe you guys in the US be lucky enough to find it the the reference card, but for us here in Australia, the chances are just impossible, because I don't think anyone even stocks them.
Idea that Nvidia wants to progress ray tracing performance. They seem to forget it for this generation, and to the point that some games even saw a regression in ray tracing.
Nice.
Compared to, heck, even the 4070 Super. This is just bad. And so today,
of course, it is super bad, and taking performance backwards. Of course, Nvidia will do that. I think they just phoned it in. They just want to have a card out and just rely solely on the AI performance. You just think everyone will be fooled that you can get 4 times the frame rate while you're not really getting any raster performance. Honestly, like the fact that they should be focusing on raster is being completely ignored by Nvidia. All they do is just focus on their fake frames.
divide that by the uplift that was expected, 5% lower result than expected. And so what that means is for the 5070 Ti, I would be hoping it would be 16.5% faster, but now, after seeing 5080 reviews, I'm expecting it to only be 3% faster than the 4070 Ti Super, which is...
And who in the right mind will upgrade? Firstly, sell off the existing system. The existing card at a loss, and then go out buy an overpriced card to only gain 3%. That's just nuts. I don't know what Nvidia is thinking.
just pathetic as a generational uplift. And then for the 5070, do I expect it to be faster than a 4090? No. Now I expect it to be maybe 21% faster, which means it'll be lucky to match the 4070 Ti on average. And look, this is not a firm prediction. It's napkin math, eyeballing it. So plus, well, I just think Jensen phoned it in with this generation's gains.
Agreed.
And I have to say, it does make me start to wonder if these underwhelming results for Blackwell, well, they're going to lead to the RX 9070 XT relatively performing way better than people expected.
Yes, I totally believe that that's going to be the case. It's going to be much better. AMD has some time because right now their release date's scheduled for sometime in March. They'll have some more time to polish out the drivers and have more stock ready, because apparently Nvidia is not going to have enough stock. Anyway, that's coming straight from Moore's Law is Dead. I've been following his channel for a while, and that's what he says. And according to him, like, some of the retailers only get like 1 or 2 pieces of the 5090. I don't see how that's a proper launch.
And I want to outline why by leaking some new performance details about AMD's upcoming RDNA 4 graphics cards, and then also leak to you very disappointing supply quotes that I have from retailers about the launch of the 5080 and the 5090. But first, an ad from Mike. The ballpark performance of where the 5070 and 5070 Ti should the AMD that were conducted a month ago, as from what I can tell.
So if I might break it down, according to him, like AMD is only seeing a 1% increase in the performance every month that they've been delaying. So there might be 4 to 5% of increase in performance. That's purely because of the drivers.
By a few percentage points or something if they really hit it out of the park in these final couple of months of polish leading up to their March launch. RTX 5080 review, and I overlay the performance targets from AMD, we can see that AMD absolutely stacks up favorably with previous generation high-end cards. But here's where it gets more fun. What if I add the 5070 series estimates to this? Well, as you can see, it looks like it could be an absolute bloodbath for Nvidia here. In fact, if we follow my 30% rule that I theorized with the 7800 XT launch, I'd argue AMD could get away with $649 and $499 with the 9070 XT and 9070 respectively if they wanted to hit a price 80.
Yeah, price gonna be important for AMD. Let's see what they come up with, what sort of price they offer. We will try to buy a card at MSRP if possible. Possibly a reference design this time. We can get our hands on it. Because surprisingly, AMD always stocks them up. There was plenty of stock for the reference design coolers.
At least in this average here, in this estimation, is less than 10% ahead of the 9070 XT. For anyone who says even $649 would be too much to charge, AMD would be giving you 90% the performance of an NVIDIA card for a third less money, while also offering the same amount of RAM. Now, remember, there's a lot of napkin math that went on with what I just showed. $90s for their store. Now, that could change, and I've heard this from other people before too, that they have had last-minute deliveries on launch days before. I believe Battle Mage may have pulled that off at some retailers in the US, like morning of arrivals, or maybe even after.
So his sources are seeing the 5080 to be around $1,100 to $1,300, so that's $200 to $300 already up by MSRP. The same story for 5090, $300 to $600 up the MSRP. So we'll have to wait and watch what the ARBs will charge.
Afternoon arrivals of Battle Mage GPUs at stores, or I don't remember which. They were told employee AMD launches, but if they do that, well, we'll just have to see. That's not what's happening this week, and so at least as of January, our patrons having a.
Yeah, that was a very good piece of information. Alright, so let's just wrap it up. So have a quick glance on all of the other creators. You see the same face of disappointment from everyone. Look at Jay. Yeah. Yep. More you see, the worse it gets. So yeah, that's it for this one. I hope you're able to get some good info out of this. You have to watch all the videos, but shout out to all of the creators that we just referenced. They do good stuff. Please go follow their pages, like their videos, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.